Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Deputies in Rowan County say a drug bust may have led them to 3 pounds of Mexican crystal meth.
Just one day after a federal appeals court decided to uphold a ban on same-sex marriage, Kentuckians are protesting the decision.
Shoppers are celebrating today. Just in time for the holidays, Fayette Mall opened 11 new stores. WKYT News at 5 starts now.
It was a huge arrest for the Rowan County Sheriff's Department. They arrested 3 men for transporting hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crystal meth.
Deputies arrested Ariel Ceballos, Carlos Garza, and Jose Guzman for transporting 3 pounds of meth from Carter County to Rowan County. They say it was all part of an ongoing investigation. But as WKYT's Victor Puente tells us, the investigation revealed 2 of the men may be in the country illegally. He has our top story at 5.
The 3 men arrested here on I-64 are in the Rowan County Jail, but they could soon be facing federal charges after police say they caught them with 3 pounds of crystallized methamphetamine. The arrest happened Wednesday afternoon. The Rowan County Sheriff's Office was contacted by a drug task force from Carter County about an investigation that was moving.
The suspects that will be coming through our area.
Deputies spotted the 2 vehicles connected to the investigation and pulled them over. They found 3 men and a lot of drugs.
If we had to put a street value on what we found, and then once it was processed and put out for street sale, it's anywhere from about $400,000 to $1 million.
Jose Guzman, Carlos Garza, and Ariel Ceballos are charged with conspiracy and trafficking in a controlled substance. Klein says Garza and Ceballos may be in the country illegally. They're trying to determine where the meth was made and say it's possible it came from Mexico in what's known as a super lab.
This isn't a home kit. This isn't something that somebody has went online and looked up. We believe this is something that's come from one of these major operations, major setup.
Those federal charges I mentioned would come from the DEA. They're already involved and are expected to eventually take over the case. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Police tell us that meth would normally be mixed with other chemicals before being sold.
A federal appeals court decision to uphold a ban on same-sex marriage in Kentucky is stirring up some reaction today. Today, Kentuckians gathered in Jefferson Square Park in Louisville to protest the decision. The decision has gone back and forth quite a few times, and despite the setback, protesters say they will continue to keep fighting it. WKYT's Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with more from the protesters. Jennifer?
Sam, yesterday a federal appeals court in Cincinnati ruled the fate of same-sex marriage bans in 4 states should be left to voters, not the legal system. But supporters of same-sex marriage say they're not giving up their fight. At a rally today at noon in Louisville, the couples at the heart of the lawsuit and about 50 supporters said they'll ask the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals ruling.
We're not at the end of the road. I'd say we're about 2/3 of the way there, and we've got a little bit further to go, but we know where we're going. We're going to the Supreme Court, and we're going to win there. There's no question about it.
Come out to make your voices heard, to oppose this decision, but to give love to the incredible plaintiff couples and their attorneys who spearheaded this effort, whose idea was to move forward in Kentucky, and whose victory it ultimately will be when the Supreme Court decides that love will win. Love will win.
February brought hope for same-sex couples when a federal judge in Kentucky ruled the state had to recognize same-sex marriages performed out of state. Then in July, the judge ruled Kentucky's ban on same-sex marriages was unconstitutional. Kentucky appealed both of those decisions to the U.S. Court of Appeals, and that's the ruling that came down yesterday. It upholds the ban on same-sex marriages in Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, and Michigan. So it's now up to the nation's highest court to decide whether to hear the case. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
The Family Foundation of Kentucky is very pleased with the court's ruling. In a statement, it says this decision reverses attempts by unelected lower court judges to take marriage policy out of the hands of voters.
The case against a man accused of killing his family will now go on to a grand jury. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Trigg County. Police say Ryan Champion shot his parents, sister, and another man in a Trigg County home in October. He's charged with murder and kidnapping. At first, Champion claimed he was a victim and was able to escape from the shooter. He could face the death penalty if convicted. The grand jury will meet next week. In Knox County, a father has been arrested and charged with 45 counts of criminal abuse. 25-year-old Skylar Wilson of Williamsburg was arrested after troopers say he admitted to abusing his child. They say a 5-year-old girl was taken to Baptist Health Corbin by her mother for treatment. Troopers say the girl was living with her father and had multiple bruises, cuts, and scabs from the abuse that covered her body. And in Laurel County, police are investigating an armed robbery. They say last night a man went into the GameStop on Childers Drive in London and waited for all the customers to leave, and then he approached the employees at the cash register, took out a gun and demanded money. Police say the man is between 25 and 30 years old and was wearing a maroon hoodie with white lettering. They say he was also wearing dark jeans and cowboy boots.
A woman had to be taken to the hospital this morning. She accidentally ran over her own foot. Firefighters tell us the woman was in a parking garage at the courthouse. We're told the reverse gear was not working. She opened the driver's door and tried using her foot to push the car backwards. And that's when the car rolled onto her foot, trapping her underneath the tire. Fire crews managed to get the car off her foot. She was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, some people in Lawrenceburg have no water. Right now, the city is under a boil water advisory. City officials say there was a 12-inch water line break in the Stringtown area. Right now, about 6,500 people will have to boil their water. Officials say about 1,000 people are without water right now, but it should return in the next 30 minutes or so. If you're headed out for Friday night football, be ready to bundle up. We're kicking off another chilly weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at your forecast. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, a lot of sunshine out there this afternoon, Sam. Not really warming up a lot of folks out there, only in the 40s for a high temperature. And as we kick off that weekend, we're doing so with a fleeting sun that is ready to call it quits on a Friday. A little look outside, live sky cam showing some high clouds on that western horizon as we say goodbye to a Friday afternoon with temperatures into the low and the mid 40s in most areas. 44 Lexington, 43 cool spot in central Kentucky. That is in Danville. Moorhead down to 43. Jackson low 40s as of now. If you're out and about this evening, it is a chilly one with a partly cloudy sky. Those temperatures drop quickly into the mid and upper 30s shortly after sunset. Area of low pressure into parts of Minnesota. That's another cold front that is trailing it into the Dakotas, now into Nebraska. That is surging toward the Bluegrass State as we go into the day tomorrow. And it's a pattern that gives us another chance for chilly this weekend. But the focus of the forecast is on how we go from chilly to just downright cold in the 7-day forecast. We'll track the potential for Arctic air in a moment.
All right, Chris, thank you. The basketball Cats are back on the court this weekend, taking on Georgetown College. It is the second and final exhibition game.
Brian Milam's here to give us a preview of this weekend's game. How about it, Brian?
Hello, everybody. A pair of national powerhouses meet in 2 days. Georgetown at the NAIA level and the Cats, #1 team in all of college basketball. The Tigers love to run and get easy baskets, and through 3 games, they're averaging a balmy 108 points. John Calipari has repeatedly said, and assistant coach Barry Slice Roerson reiterated the fact about the Cats' transition defense. It is vital.
You know, you'll find that bad defensive transition teams jog back, good teams run back, and great teams sprint back. And we've got to make an effort every time defensively in transition not to let the ball get behind us, beat us down court, or, get pushed down our throat. We have to be able to get back quickly. And, we want to play with 5 guys on defense.
Kentucky has won 38 of their last 39 exhibition games. UK last played an exhibition against Georgetown back in 2005, winning 85-63. We will have much more later in sports.
Brian, thank you. Georgetown is ranked 8th at NAIA. UK's first exhibition opponent, Pikeville, is ranked 2nd. The Cats won that game 116-68.
Well, shoppers in Lexington are celebrating today for the grand reopening of Fayette Mall. There are nearly 24 retailers in the newly renovated middle wing, the site of the old Sears space. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel was in the middle of all the excitement when the stores opened their doors for the first time this morning.
Ever since Sears closed, it's been about a year-long process to renovate this section of the mall, and now 20 new stores have been added.
Well, watch me come out with 5 bags and you're going to be jealous.
Janie and Jack, Altered State, Clark's, and Swarovski are just a few new stores now open at Fayette Mall. Their opening caps off a year-long construction project that added about 20 new stores in the middle wing where Sears used to be. This morning, hundreds of people awaited the opening of several new stores that are all new to Lexington. More than 100 people waited in line outside H&M, some as early as 4 o'clock this morning, just to get their hands on some good deals. Minutes before the official opening, excitement was certainly high.
I was like, yeah, because I mean, H&M's usually at like Cincinnati, then they brought one to Louisville, and now it's finally here in Lexington, so it's local, something to go to.
Most of the stores opened at 10 o'clock this morning. However, there are a few shops and restaurants that won't open until early next year. Reporting at Fayette Mall, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Mall officials tell us additional parking spaces are now available. Lextran has also added a stop in the front parking lot by the Cheesecake Factory. Still to come on WKYT, President Obama met with congressional leaders today, just days after Republicans gained control of Congress. And coming up at 5:30, it is a crime that still has not been solved, but today marks the 5-year anniversary of the death of a Southern Kentucky murder victim.